the last month, I've been completing a review of all the music that I listen to each Monday. 2 weeks ago, I didn't listen to anything, but I gave y'all a sick new world ranking instead. Now I'm feeling much better, and I listened to a lot this week. So I'm going to give a lightning round of comments on each song just to get them all in. As usual, I top everything out at A1 from day one and go all the way down to songs that are not for me. I'd like to remind you that the not for me is my preferred designation for music that doesn't speak to me directly, as I am sure there is something, even in music, I can't get into. And who knows, maybe I'll rethink the songs later if I hear them again. So without further ado, let's get into the rankings. This time I'm going backwards, but it's all going to end in the same place, of course, a list. First up is Fake Love by Kendrick P. Neo-soul that neither offends nor brings anything new.
It never really crossed my brain that you would change up on them like you did.
I wouldn't skip it if it came up again. It'd fit in a nice sunset playlist you could tune out in the background. Next was Move by Idina Menzel, another neither offensive nor new sound, but an excellent performance for sure.
You better move for me. I'm so high.
There's nothing you wouldn't expect here. I think maybe mixed into a retro disco set, maybe sampled, this would get some good play. I could see quotes of this in a Girl Talk project, for example. I wouldn't seek it out, but this is another wouldn't skip. Next was Ghost by Get Rich Zay. Honestly, I tuned this one out and disassociated. So for this week, yet another wouldn't skip.
Running they trap, we're gonna take down they block. Still with the gang trying to hunt for all.
But it isn't something I would seek out, just something the title algorithm knows that I will let play. Next up is Forbidden Light of the Black Moon by Necrofire. I've been playing a lot of different types of metal recently, and this certainly fills in the doomier but progressive beats style I like. I like the way the song changes between the fast and the sludgier sounds, so this is an I would play again, even if it doesn't bring much new to the genre. It's an old, reliable kind of metal track with guitar solos leading to growling lyrics, which are like most metal lyrics, gloriously stupid. This was followed up with Doomsday by Binky. Also nothing really new, indie pop with cleverly produced choruses. I wouldn't seek it out or play again intentionally, but I wouldn't skip it either. So far, this list has been middle of the road, directly down the center of my musical taste. Nothing I just can't get into, and nothing that speaks to me. I wonder if this will be my first week without an A1 track. We'll see. Zoom by Asian Doll and Junior Choi was up next. I'd put this on a playlist. This would be a good song for driving around the city at late night just for fun, but not an A1 track yet. Will we get there? Let's see. Love God by Sarah Kinsley was the next track. It starts as if it's going to be down-tempo, but quickly speeds up.
Love God, send me someone.
It makes me feel 80s, and it makes me feel chill. This is for getting stoned in the garden and drinking iced tea in a straw hat, you know? It's borderline, and I would play this again, but it doesn't quite hit that A1 status fully. IDK by Nev, or Is It New, was up next. This was a fine track and had some interesting lines.
I got way too much to lose. I can't afford to waste no time.
So here's another I'd play again, but it didn't raise to the level of The Brightest Star. The next track, however, did. I'm a sucker for Ludwig van. So it was Beethoven Symphony 3 in E flat, the Verbier Festival. Of course, this is the A1 track. He's the best other than Wagner, and Wagner always requires a giant asterisk of a paragraph because he was a vicious anti-Semite. Beethoven isn't that, so it's much greater. Following up, Ludwig van was more power metal, Becoming the Ocean by Ern. This didn't have the stop-start of the previous metal track, but the same principles. This one wasn't as interesting to me, so I just call this one a fine and move on. The solos are fun, though, I must say. Next track was Overcome by Nothing But Thieves.
And that's when the good thief said, Jesus did no wrong, whereas we are but thieves.
What the fuck are butt thieves?
It's pretty standard radio rock. I also disassociated and tuned this one out a couple of times. I had to go back to it, actually. So I guess that's an I wouldn't skip overall. Goodness Gracious by Young Gravy, BB Nos, and Baby Gravy was a fun hyperpop beat with an interesting rap over it, and it was very fidgety with everything it covers.
Backpack, domino, hair slick back like Fabio, bought my teacher on a roll.
It's ADHD and it's dumb. This is rock and roll and has lines like,
and yippee-yi, think I'm sweating Gatorade.
This one is incredibly stupid and fun, and therefore an A1. Nikilewa by Neveriri, the storyteller, Bien and Ben Soul was up next. Hopefully I pronounced those names right. This one is mellow and funky, and the beat is great for late spring progressing into summer. It's another A1, actually. So I guess there were some great choices on this list. Sorry to super fans, but this next one doesn't raise to that level. It's Video Games by Tenacious D.
You know I don't play video games no more.
It's a rant about not playing many video games that soon becomes about playing specific video games. It's funny and the country bluegrass type parody works, but this is going to be remembered like Tribute or Fuck Her Gently. I wouldn't skip it, but this wouldn't go on my play again playlist. Other than I dump every single track I track down into an epic playlist of everything, the EPOE. The next track was Don't Play Nice by Paula Jiven, or Hiven, which is a fun neon kind of glowing pop. It's like what Move was reaching for but doesn't quite arrive at. Is this the toppermost of the poppermost though? No, but I'm putting this on a play again list. I will spin it more. Then it's Golden Trail by Nita Strauss, In Flames, and Anders Frieden. More of the speedy drum blast metal landing somewhere in between the other two. I know it's called blast beat, but I like mine better. On the right day, in the right mood, on the right playlist, I wouldn't skip it, but it isn't one I'd seek out either. Do It Again by Kevin Gates was the next song in this review.
That was the second time I had learned I couldn't trust nothing that I love.
This one was pretty standard, so it's another wouldn't skip. I don't have much to say about it. Next up, though, was Infinity Repeating, the 2013 demo by Daft Punk and Julian Casablancas. I never really enjoyed Casablanca's whole thing, and though it's unfair, his presence in anything has always annoyed me. So while this is actually a really good song, and if I heard it without knowing who it was, I would give it a wouldn't skip. Context is everything. It's not for me, but if you like it, you should ignore me, and it should be for you. We're rounding out the end of the list. Next is Grow by Nick Broadhurst. As I've said before, I have a problem with down-tempo stuff. Even if the back-end electronic beats and pings in the background are interesting, this one only rates as an it's fine because it doesn't pull me in. The Warning song More is up next, and we're nearly at the end. It's pretty simple rock and roll, but it's got fun breaks. I'll call it a would play again. The Planet by BTS is the next one to be ranked. I like this one. I can see why they're popular. It's got a funky bass groove throughout. It's this usual kind of throwback funk disco groove we get every summer that just feels so danceable. I played it a bunch, not just when listening to it the first time, so it's an A1. There's no accounting for taste, I suppose. Last was Carol with an E by Britton Lee, rounding out the list. I like this artist as I've already given her an A1 listing, but I also really love trucker songs, especially country songs with pedal steel funkiness in the background. This is another A1.
He's the chain smoking, reefer toking Billy Golden. He loves Carol with me.
And there you have it. Everything I listened to last Monday and how I felt about it. Go down to the comments and tell me why I messed up, misunderstand everything, of course. And please like and subscribe. And as the Northern Soul Patch says, keep the faith.